Looking to be best in class in the industry of business sales and acquisition, then maybe this video will also help you get a little bit stronger, better, etc. And we'd love to hear feedback at the end of this, so you can reach out to us at BuyBizUSA and say, hey, I like that, I didn't like that, or what have you. I'm really open to hearing from other people around the country, around the world even. Reach out. This is Brian Stephen with BuyBizUSA today, and we're going to go over a pre-meeting checklist. So imagine that your attorney friend has recommended that one of his clients or her clients give you a call because they're thinking about selling your business. So you talk to them over the phone. You say, hey, I understand that you're thinking about selling your business. You're not totally sure. Help me out with some questions. Now, we have an initial seller check sheet that we go through, and we can ask certain questions, but it reminds people like, how long you been in the industry? What are your gross sales? What's been happening over the last couple of years? Why are you thinking of selling? Do you rent or do you own the property, etc.? And we get some of the basic data out there, and then we go and get prepared as we're going to plan that we're going to meet them that following Thursday, let's say. So I go to the company's website and I go through and look for all the data I can. If they're proud of selling birdhouses in their landscaping thing, then I ought to be able to walk in and say, hey, I want to see all those birdhouses you are mentioning in their website. Tell me all about that. And you got to get an idea of the employees that work there, etc. If you don't know their website, shame on you, because that's sort of their bragging point that talks all about them, and it gives you a good insight to really get to know more about the business and then ask even more questions. You know, check the company information everywhere that you can on the internet. There are things like things at at the library and online, on the internet, etc., that will tell you specific information about the business. Do what you can. Identify other businesses or properties that they've owned. So you can go to the equivalent of some sort of government registry. In each state they have registries that show who owns what businesses. In Florida, that's where I'm working from right now, we have sunbiz.org, and I can type in the name of their business, and I can find out who owns whether there's different officers, etc., on the corporate website. And then I can also type in their name or their corporate name, and I can find out if they own other businesses as well. So it's kind of useful to be totally prepared. If they have real estate, check out the real estate. It also helps, even if you're not looking for the fact that maybe they lease a property, still take a look at it from a bird's eye view, or go onto one of the web platforms like Google and sort of see where they're situated, see if there's any competition, see if there's any construction going on or any things that might be advantageous or disadvantage to the business, etc., and get familiar with it. Review Google. Google's a great website source for information on the business, of course. You can look for reviews, look for things like on Yelp, or look for customer comments. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the tools that I use an awful lot. And you might even link in with them if they are open to do that. But reach out to them, get to know a little bit about them. And sometimes they have their information on LinkedIn. And a lot of business owners I found still have yet to get going on that. Certainly Facebook is another great place because you get an idea of their family, their background, their values, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, maybe where they graduated or went to college, etc. I also go to the industry associations. So quite often you can find information, like if you're doing something in home builders, you can look up the Home Builders Association, you look up different construction information, etc., and be prepared to know the industry. This is especially important if you're unfamiliar with the industry, but just don't assume that you've sold some stuff in the past, that you know everything. There's always new current changes. Check similar businesses for sale. I go to Sunbiz, not Sunbiz, but BizQuest, businessesforsale.com, etc. There's a lot of different websites, and so you can type in the type of industry that you're looking at preparing and seeing what businesses are there on the marketplace. Also, and probably more importantly when it comes to pricing, check businesses that have already sold. You can find this information on companies like Peer Comps. If you're in Florida, Business Brokers of Florida, but there's others, BVR, resources, etc. Look into it. If you need questions or help on that, let me know. I also carry with me a field book. In the field book, I have copies and samples of all the different forms and the things that we produce, so people can see what a teaser looks like, what a comprehensive business review looks like. They can look and see what kind of a non-disclosure we have and how that works, all the forms that we fill out, some of the postcards that we mail out when we do direct mailing, etc. So I have those resources. To be honest, quite often I don't use them all. Sometimes I don't even open up the handbook, but I have it handy for those that really would like to see it or where it makes sense. Okay, another great resource, and there's other companies like this. I like IBISWorld. They're not inexpensive at all, but I use it all the time to gain more information about the industry, and they have some forward-looking thoughts about what should be happening over the next 5 years and the ways they've been impacted. They had a great series on what was going on with COVID, etc. Here's another thing. Talk to somebody who's already in the industry. So maybe you know all about dog grooming, but you haven't sold a dog groomer in the last 7 years. And so you can call up one of your friends or call up a local dog groomer that you don't know and say, hey, I'm getting ready to talk to somebody who wants to sell their dog grooming business. And I was wondering if you'd give me a minute or two to share what's going on in the industry. What are some new changes and trends? And it might give you a lot of good insight. Another great resource is the Business Reference Guide. A great thing, Ron West for Business Broker Press can get you a copy of a book. And they have an online resource as well. And it tells you insights and details and information not only about how to price a business. Of course, they're just sort of the general guidelines on pricing business, but also some really cool information in most industries and even a number of franchises. So check that book out. Anyway, I want to keep this short and sweet. This is Brian Stevens. We're trying to help people buy, sell, and value businesses through our process, and we have a lot of great contacts around the country and some from around the world. We'd love to hear from you. You can find my contact information. The number is 833-BuyBiz1, but you can just reach out to us at BuyBizUSA.com or biz@BuyBizUSA.com, or just check our website, for goodness sakes. And this is Brian Stevens doing the pre-meeting checklist, and we'd love to hear from you. Take care and make great things happen. Bye-bye.